With Heirloom, the mattress of choice for true luxury. During the VIP sale at Room to Room, enjoy an extra 10% off customer favorite Heirloom. Don't miss this exclusive opportunity at Room to Room Tupelo.
A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
Scary that it can be put into anything and we can't even see it or notice it.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 5.
Well, good evening. I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Lawpon. Welcome in here to the Room to Room Weather Center on Mississippi Live Weather at 5 on this beautiful day. I mean, as we're working our way toward the weekend, we expect that we're going to have some beautiful weather still ahead. Beautiful, maybe code word for dry, which has certainly been the story of late that we have looked at over and over again here in the Room to Room Weather Center is just how dry those conditions are. And so the latest drought monitor, we do have that information for you come up here as we go throughout the next little bit in this broadcast here. As you might imagine, it's not good news for most of us, but there has been some improvement because of some of the rainfall we have. We'll show you that improvement is, and we'll show you that expansion as well coming up here in just a couple of minutes. Another thing that we're looking at, of course, that dry forecast on the way for the weekend. Of course, those two things going hand in hand. Good for outdoor plans, or at least Mother Nature not messing up those outdoor plans. But you can't spell football without fall. And certainly the temperatures continue to feel slightly more fall-like. It's not a huge drop. We do have a little reduction in temperatures ahead. We'll look at more detail. Our meteorologist, Gabe Maynor, of course, helping us out with that extended forecast here in just a couple minutes. But over the first 12 here, as you can see, we're 84 degrees at 6 p.m. That temperature dropping to 71 by 9, 68 by midnight, and down to the low 60s by early tomorrow morning. Again, it is this time of year, typically we would expect to be in the upper 50s. So while that is cooler, that is not as cool as maybe typically we would expect for this time of the year, but at least we're working the right direction. We have to take what we can get right. Caledonia, it is completely clear skies out there around the Golden Triangle. Good evening to you down in Lowndes County or Clay County or Monroe County, really everyone at home this evening. As you can see there, the feels like temperature coming in as the actual temperature is in the upper 80s. The dew point, that measure of moisture, is low. Again, one of those functions, that dry air. And we'll have some smoke on the horizon there and a couple of different, hopefully, control burns out there in the Delta. Cleveland, Cameron coming in 91. You'll note because of just how dry that air is, again, drawn in by Idalia, we sit at 48 for that dew point right now in Cleveland. That's some really dry air. That's why the feels like temperature is actually a little bit lower. And again, those winds out of the north and east, about 15 miles per hour, making sure Old Glory there, as you can see, really standing out. In Greenwood coming in 90. Feels like temperature at that location coming in around 88 degrees, not quite as breezy, again, under these mostly sunny skies. Mississippi Live Weather Radar, no precipitation out there. That has just so often recently been the story. And when we look at the drought monitor, again, released today, we have seen improvement. We did have this area up here near the Tennessee state line where we actually had level 4 out of 5 drought. That has been removed because of recent rainfall. So we have seen some improvement there for locations near the Tennessee state line. But again, we have level 3 drought extending as far south as Bruce there. We've also seen some expansion for locations around the Golden Triangle, Columbus. Our meteorologist, Gabe Maynor, will look a lot more at that here in a minute. But you can also see we're not that far removed for folks out in Pickens County, Alabama, from some of that level 4 drought as well. It qualifies as extreme. Now, this is all short-term drought, can be resolved fairly quickly if Mother Nature gets the act together. Certainly we need the rainfall, and this is typically one of our drier times of the year. In fact, considering even though it's our drier time of the year, here is what it looks like as far as, compared over the last 30 days. You could see some spots we've had, especially with that expansion of that level 3 drought for those locations around the Golden Triangle. Only about a tenth of what they typically should see over even what is a dry month. So that's just a reminder of just how dry we are. Looking over the last year, of course, we're about spot on. So that's a reminder that this is a short-term issue that we continue to kind of fight and hopefully can be rectified if we can get things kind of figured out a little bit more. And eventually that'll happen. It's just taking some time. So again, back here to Mississippi Live Weather Radar, dry and clear at this point in time. And on our satellite perspective, kind of on the wider shot here, again, showing the partly cloudy to mostly clear skies that are a big part of what we've had. Again, the mostly clear conditions. Our tropical systems continue to kind of erode away out in the Atlantic. We're watching a disturbance down here in the southern Gulf of Mexico. Most indications are limited, only 10 to maybe 20% development over the next 7 days. And there's another area we're watching here a little closer. Again, fairly limited development, but Gabe and I have been talking about this one the last couple of days as well, kind of trying to move toward the northeast and, northwest and maybe kind of come out here into Alabama. Current indications try to take that kind of more north and keep any more meaningful moisture. And there's not going to be much even with that, largely away from us. I know that's the thing we're hoping for, because you look back to the north and west, it is nothing but clear. That brown line there is a trough. That's what we put on the map when you can't buy colder, real legitimate cold front. You got to go all the way up there into Canada before we have one of those. So long distance away. All that basically saying that dry remains the main weather word. And so no shock there when you see our futurecast. Not a lot out there for tonight. Any more meaningful rainfall down in the southern part of the state. We'll zoom this into our full Mississippi map here for a moment. Again, South Mississippi in particular, where there may be a couple sprinkles down toward Laurel and Hattiesburg, but not even hardly any cloud cover up here. 10 p.m., 11 p.m. through around midnight tonight. Again, keeping conditions relatively clear and dry into the first part of early tomorrow morning. And even a little bit of cloud cover trying to creep back in. Maybe a sign of some moisture with that more meaningful everything else still largely back into Florida or down into the Gulf of Mexico. So over the next 24 hours, again, the story remains dry conditions as you'd expect, coming around 60 for the morning. So a little cooler than today. I have a men's Bible study I do on Thursday mornings, and I took the convertible out this morning with the wind, had a sweatshirt on. It was a little chilly. And so I know that means, with wind motion, which we don't have much tomorrow morning, but if the kids are at the bus stop for a long period of time, as you can see, that 60-degree temperature is going to have a little bit of a cool factor to it for sure. We're 79 by noon and 84 for tomorrow afternoon. So this is an improvement, but it's a very limited improvement as far as temperatures are concerned. In the next 60 seconds, we'll be looking ahead at what that means for your upcoming weekend forecast. And I know it's not a big shock that it's largely going to be dry, but we're looking ahead at what you can expect also for your Friday night football, bus stop forecast, and all that and more coming up here as Mississippi Live Weather at 5 continues here from the Room to Room Weather Center right after this.
If you're facing a DUI charge, every decision matters. At the law office of Andrew W. Stewart II, we provide a skilled defense to protect your record, rights, and future. Call today or visit drewstewartlaw.com. Your future is worth defending.
Whether it's our stories, the warmth of our laugh, or our family's secret sauce, we all bring something different to the table. So make some space. The power of connection is waiting right outside your comfort zone. Learn how you can help strengthen your community at belongingbeginswithus.org/teamup.
You wonder how they're going to experience the real world in real safety, where all kids are welcome and everyone has a path forward to new skills, advancement, leadership, something they will carry with them the rest of their lives.
Right now, from the Room to Room Weather Center, here's Mississippi's Chief Meteorologist, Matt Lovhaug.
Well, a beautiful evening on the way in Macon. I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Lopan. Thank you so much for supporting us here on Mississippi Live Weather through what has been a dry and very warm weather pattern. Not excessively hot, but we're well above what we typically see for this time of year. 86 degrees right now, the temperature there in the Macon area. Feels like temperatures, again, that's one of our big weather stories, mid-80s, a sign that it is not overly humid, certainly not hot, when you have a feels like that's actually a little bit below the actual temperature. That's where they are right now down in Noxubee County. Again, appreciate y'all for supporting us here on Mississippi Live Weather. Actually, in Pod Talk, same story there with that feels like temperature around 84 degrees. A little more yellow showing up in some of these trees. Now, I hope what we don't have here is some of those pine beetle trees that have been in big problem for some of the pines recently. But I know at least some of our trees outside starting to show just the littlest hint of color. You could argue we're now deeper into the burr months in October. or maybe it's just the fact that the drought is having an issue with it. Either way, a little more color starting to show up. Send those pictures in if you have those with the fall foliage. Love to show those. Of course, you can submit those using the Mississippi Live Weather app, and out in Greenville at this instant here, coming in with those clear skies as we talked about a little bit ago. It is blue as far as the eye can see with very limited amounts of moisture out there. I do want to bring in our meteorologist, Gabe Maynor, here again, back at the Room to Room studios there. And, you know, it's certainly a beautiful day. Did you make any effort to get outside and enjoy this?
Well, actually, so, you know, I have that garden in the backyard, so I've been working on that, and I would say that this is the golden atmosphere that we need to tend a garden. Yes, it needs a little bit of moisture, but, you know, we can water those ourselves. But when it comes to temperature-wise, mid to upper 80s, it's not exactly going to scorch the plants. It's actually going to be enough sunshine, enough of that warmth that they need to continue to grow. And we planted them a little bit late in the Maynor household, so that's what we're doing outside right now.
You're trying to optimize yield.
Exactly. I see one pepper. We got a green one that's about like 3 or 4 inches, and I think it's about to change color.
You
Very
just did
excited
the fish
for
thing.
it.
It's 3 or 4 inches. That's 3 or 4 inches. You're like 3 or 4 inches.
It's big enough. It's gonna, you know, I'm excited about it, and it has some friends coming along with it, so no complaints here. It's my first pepper plant, so I go outside
You and Miss Maynor are going to make some salsa out of this?
Probably. I haven't even looked up a pepper recipe, to be honest with you. I just knew that I could plant them and something would be produced. What I need now is do what?
Grill them. Grilled peppers.
Are they good?
Yes.
Ooh.
Anyway, I'll step out of your way on that. But yeah, I would be thinking about some grilling. And you know, it's a great weekend to maybe thinking about that as well.
Word. Yes, I mean, getting the grills out, anything. I mean, go to a tailgate or somewhere over there in Bryant-Denny. Going to be a great forecast for that. Of course, we'll take a look at those football forecasts here in just a moment. But yeah, Matt, you hit the nail on the head. It's a beautiful forecast all weekend long, and actually going to be dialing back those temperatures just a bit to make it feel a little bit more like fall. As you can see right here, those drier conditions are persisting with that little bit of a boundary that we had yesterday, now shifting a little bit more out there towards the west. And as I'm looking at that, there was a severe thunderstorm warning down there in central Louisiana. So some of those can increase just a bit, but as you can see, none of that here in Mississippi, at least not in the northern part of Mississippi. Down along the coastal regions, a little bit of a different story, but this is where we sat all afternoon. No rain chances in the area, just kept that dry forecast with those clear skies lingering all afternoon long. Of course, that is a great forecast to get those outdoor activities done, but it's not exactly a great forecast when it comes to our drought monitor. And I'm talking about a garden that's about a 2x4 rectangle. There are crops that still need water, and I know farmers are watching this thinking, hey, Gabe, Matt, when is the rain going to come? And unfortunately, it's not exactly a good outlook for this week. So while we did take a step back in some parts up around the Savannah, Tennessee area, elsewhere you have seen that level 3 drought expand more into Calhoun County. That level 2 and level 1 drought remaining relatively consistent there along Highway 45, but pushing southwest towards Attala and Winston County, you can see that level 1 seeping a little bit more south. And if you forgot what last week's looked like, here's a look at what we saw. And there's that level 4 drought, that level 1 drought not getting all the way into Winston and Attala County, but just starting to expand more and more. I'm going to actually take a step back right here because I want you to look at this. I'm going to go back one graphic. Look at what has changed there in the Golden Triangle, at least there towards Columbus and Pickens County. Watch this level 3 drought. We're going to go to last week's now. Much different story. So that's where conditions are really starting to get worse. And the fact that we're getting that level 4 drought into just south of Tuscaloosa County along I-20, would not be surprised to see that spread into more of the Reform, Aliceville, and maybe even Gordo community before we get into next week's drought monitor. It's unfortunate, but it's not unexpected with how dry this pattern has been. So conditions are worsening despite it getting better in some parts. So your day planner this evening, I've been mentioning dry conditions. Matt's been saying dry conditions. You got the theme. It's going to be dry. 80 degrees around 7, 71 by 9, 69 degrees by 11. Still with those clear conditions all night long. So that's the thing. If we're going to be dry, let's be clear. And we've been exactly that, and we'll continue to do so overnight. A Futurecast showcasing those clear conditions, and that easterly wind still pretty breezy. I'm going to say gusty because we are talking about 10 to 15 miles an hour for some of us. 9 p.m. still seeing those winds kind of move through the region and make that forecast even more comfortable. But the reason why we're talking about a much cooler forecast for the start of our Friday. You take a look outside, not a cloud in sight. Well, that moisture kind of blankets the atmosphere and keeps those temperatures pretty consistent, or at least not a big disparity compared to the high and low temperature. So the fact that we're clear skies allows for that atmosphere to cool off, that daytime heating to go away, and then as we head into the afternoon, the sunshine make its impact and then warm us up nicely. So that's why we're going to see a broader disparity, meaning those clear conditions are once again a big part of our forecast. So Friday morning, plentiful amounts of sunshine and low temperatures. We're talking upper 50s for a lot of locations. 59 Tupelo, Amory, Houston, 59 down there towards Starkville, and 57 Louisville and Macon. I do see a few 56s there, Red Bay and Hamilton. Out west, where it's a little bit more of that moisture trying to linger, we're talking low to mid 60s. So, hey, not all of us going to be in the 50s, but at least more than what it has been the past few days. So pick up if you are more of a cold-natured person. My wife told me to establish this, that some people, when it's 50 degrees or 59 degrees, it's cold. So wear the long sleeves. And I'm talking to Miss Maynor on this one and anyone else that is associated with it. But yeah, make sure to layer up as you head out the door. Won't need it by the afternoon, though, even if you're cold-natured or not. 84 degrees by drop-off, filled with abundant sunshine. I'm going to kind of emphasize that enough. It's going to be a beautiful forecast. Friday morning, as you can see, some of that cloud cover trying to build in there from the south, but that is going to be a very, very small amount of cloud cover, and more than likely you're going to see those clear skies all day long. If you do get one of those clouds rolling through the region, it's just going to be one of those isolated cumulus clouds, not really playing a big part in our forecast. Even there towards the afternoon, I would say the best chance to get a little bit of the cloud cover is along the Alabama state line. Elsewhere, clear conditions once again, and that breeze is going to help kind of drive that moisture away. And even if you are getting that sunshine, even things are heating up, that breeze definitely helps make it a little bit more bearable. 3 p.m. on your Friday, peak heating taking place. You can still see all of that sunshine in the region, so it is going to be a beautiful forecast once again. As we get into that Friday evening forecast, we know what that's time for, right? Football, high school, in action once again. It's week 5. I think I'm right. Week 5, week 6. I think it's week 6 now. Matt fact-checked me on that behind the scenes. High temperatures, 83 for Oxford, 83 Holly Springs, 84 around Tupelo and Amory, and 87 Columbus, and 86 around Macon. Well, speaking of high school, we do have that high school game of the week forecast provided by Casey Lawton. And as you can see, beautiful conditions, 80 degrees pregame, 71 by halftime. And that final snap, going to be a little bit cooler as we head home from those games, 66 degrees. And if you're one of those workers that have to stay after the game to clean up, have at least a long sleeve ready, because once those fans clear out, that temperature drops significantly from where it stands with all those people in the crowd. 8 p.m. Friday, as you can see, just sticking with those dry conditions, so not a drop of rain in sight. Perfect for those football games. So if you need something to do, well, that is going to be, do I need to head over there? Okay, perfect. Well, that is going to be what you guys need to do, is go out for those football games. Matt, I saw you have Pontotoc earlier, plentiful amounts of blue skies, and that's where we'll be for our game of the week.
Absolutely. I was checking in on, where the different competitions go when you brought that up a second ago. I want to show how close this is, because this is insane. Now, I'm not looking at just the Instagram numbers. They figure in as well. But as we're, well, hold on. I might have the wrong thing popped up. Give me a moment. Is the other monitor not on? Well, Gabe, give me a second. I'll come back to that here in a second. It looks like the wrong monitors up there behind the scenes. So I'll get that worked out, and I'll get that here in a moment.
But we still have a college forecast to go through, so we've got some time. Let's go ahead and take it into our Saturday forecast. As you can see right here, still with those dry conditions, maybe a little bit more of those partly cloudy conditions, but as you can see, not really playing a part in our forecast, not bringing any meaningful moisture with it. Really not any moisture at all. All of our moisture is staying way high up in the atmosphere with some of those cumulus clouds way high up there in the sky. 3 p.m. on your Saturday, still with those dry conditions. So if you're heading out there to Tuscaloosa, even out there towards Tuscaloosa County and Pickens County, anywhere in northwest Alabama, staying on the drier side once again. So Saturday looking phenomenal. It tries to move in a few of these pop-up showers, but as we've seen over the past few days, not exactly verifying on those rain chances. So we still have those dry conditions continuing into those Saturday night and Sunday morning forecast. Temperature-wise, though, we can see that we're continuing to take a step back right around our seasonable average with 85 Amory, 85 Tupelo, 82 Boonville and Iuka, and 85 towards Water Valley, and 87 there towards Clarksdale and Tunica. So looking at those SEC football forecasts brought to you by Carl Hogan, as you can see, Vanderbilt taking on Alabama in Tuscaloosa, in Bryant-Denny, and the kickoff temperature is going to be right around our average, what we've been seeing the past few days. 85 degrees first play, 86 halftime, and 79 by that final snap. Cloud cover going to be off and on through the game, but overall no rainfall expected, and that's really what we care about whenever it comes to these games. But if you are traveling out there towards College Station in Texas, it's going to be a bit warmer. 90 degrees first play, 85 halftime, and 80 by that final snap. Going to be a battle of the maroon and white, and fingers crossed, very biased opinion, that state can show who the true maroon and white is, but we'll definitely see. That outcome 6:30 on your Saturday. Make sure to tune in and have those cowbells ringing. This weekend, though, in its entirety, looking like a great forecast with plenty of dry air, sunshine showing both days, 85 Saturday, 86 Sunday, cooler temperatures and those dry conditions persisting in the forecast. A 7-day forecast beyond the weekend. We do have some isolated showers trying to move in early next week. So in my opinion, that's the best time frame to get some of this rainfall past the weekend, past our football forecast. And we still need the rainfall, so if it has to come, that's a great time for it. Still very isolated though, so not exactly going to be impactful rain chances, but at least we have a chance on the 7-day. At this rate, we need to look at the glass half full, and I know that folks are going to be happy to see even a 20% up there. But Matt, where we're not getting a percentage of rain is Friday night, but the atmosphere, or the action, should I say, is heating up. How are those votes looking?
Very, very close, especially on Facebook. Remember, it's both Facebook and Instagram that figure into this. So I'm pulling up, my Facebook page, and this is how we check. If you look there on the screen, you'll see where it says 785 and the hearts and thumbs up. That is the votes there on our Langston and Lott, Casey Lott, Mississippi Live Game of the Week, and our competition here for both band and cheer of the week. So this is, of course, the North Pontotoc folks there, their Spirit Squad. You get 785 votes. But if I go over to New Albany, just 791. That number has actually changed just in the last couple minutes here. So again, a very close vote. But if I take in Instagram itself, I had to pull it up on my phone just a second ago to check out. It's a little bit greater there, a little more than 50, 60 odd votes ahead. New Albany is on there. So very close. It's anyone's matchup on how that ends up playing out. And of course, you go to my Facebook page, as you can see, facebook.com/MattOnTV. I know a lot of y'all probably found Mississippi Live because of that, but if you didn't, go to my Facebook page. That's how you vote, or Instagram as well. The competition, again, still pretty close, but New Albany with a lead, as you can see here, for Band of the Week at 778 votes there at this point versus 663 for the folks there up in North Pontotoc. And if we look at I'm going to look on the Instagram, and again, it's about a 75 vote lead, maybe just a little bit more than that for the folks there in New Albany. So considering everything, it's a very close vote there, Gabe. We do expect that it's going to probably go down the wire, as it often does. It's always interesting because Friday always sees this just ratchet up into the number of votes. So it's kind of fun to watch the competition on the gridiron and these, pride competitions behind the scene on how this goes. But looking forward to a beautiful evening of football there in the Ecru area tomorrow.
For sure. And the thing that I want to say, and I'm not saying that this has anything to do with the outcome of either thing, but the team that usually wins the votes when it comes to Band and Spirit Squad has not been the team winning on the football field.
Just the last couple of weeks. It was the first few weeks, but it has not been the last couple. So we will see. It kind of goes both directions.
Well, and that's where, honestly, I like that situation, because then it's not someone completely sweeping it. It kind of makes both sides happy. I don't know.
You're going to make nobody vote if that's the case. you're like, I mean, I'm a scientist, and you just made me think jinx.
Oh, man. That is, well, the thing is, you said hearts and likes are both attributed to that number. So are just reactions. And so some people that are voting, angry for North Pontotoc, if they're a New Albany Bulldog, still counts towards North Pontotoc. So
that's true. It's combined clicks on that. So yeah, combined reactions, but not comments. We don't go back through and read the comments. Tag your friends in the comments, get them to go ahead and vote. But yeah, comments themselves don't work.
And share the post, because sharing helps get the word out and gets more people voting. And I've seen that make the difference whenever it comes to who comes out on top with Spirit Squad and Band. So excited to see how that turns out.
To watch these people that share, and they share their friends and family around the country as well. So all's fair in love, war, and apparently Facebook-like competitions.
This is some of the most heated battles. I mean, I would say this is where the greatest rivalries are formed, is on Facebook rather than actually on the football field. So
absolutely.
I don't know.
Hey, so what do you have coming up for us at 6 o'clock here on Mississippi Live Weather?
Well, we're going to talk more about the tropics. We have a few more disturbances that we can track out as we are still in hurricane season. We're going to be talking more detail about that, drought monitor, football forecast, and especially temperatures, because I know that's the big story heading into the next 48 hours. So all of that coming up here in just a couple of minutes, and excited to talk more detail about Mississippi's forecast.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. Thank you so much, Gabe. And of course, thank you for watching us here on Mississippi Live Weather. Our next live broadcast will be coming up at 6 p.m. and 10 p.m. here from the Room to Room Weather Center. Appreciate y'all for following us, and like and subscribe. If you're one of those folks on the chat on Facebook and YouTube, thank you so much for your interactions. They do mean a lot. Let your friends and family know. Eventually, we will get into the stormy season, and we'll be here to take care of you on Mississippi Live Weather. We'll see you at 6.
Get ready for a night of inspiration, laughter, and support. Join us on Saturday, October 4th at 6 p.m. at the Tupelo Cotton Mill, where outstanding men from our community will walk in her shoes. You'll hear powerful stories from survivors and caregivers, enjoy delicious food and drinks, and experience live entertainment in an evening filled with fellowship, fun, and hope. All proceeds go to support those bravely fighting cancer. This event is powered by Wear It Well